What's up guys, it's Trevor with Embers Fireplaces. We have a fun one for you today. This is a video you guys have been asking for. One of the biggest questions we get in the store here is which Weber gas grill should you get? Should you buy the Spirit series? Should you buy the Genesis series? Or should you spring for the top dog and get the Summit series? Let's find out which one you should get. So like I said, today we're discussing which Weber gas grill you should get. So we're gonna break down the hardware differences between the three grills, but also we're gonna give you insight as a retailer that sell these products. We'll tell you a little bit of insight from a retail standpoint, philosophically which one might make sense, and what the manufacturer's sort of goals are with these grills as well. So let's sort of dive into it. Let's start actually with what's the same between these. Now the reason we're doing this video is if you go on Weber's website, consumers come in here every day, there's sort of some product confusion with the Weber brand. Now we say that because there's 11 different Spirit models on their website, at least at the time of this video, and there's over 32 Genesis models, variables on their website. And then of course there's a dozen or so Summits. So that's a lot of grills to choose from, and it can be hard to decide which one to get. So again, like I said, let's start with what's the same. Well, philosophically, the Weber concept or the Weber brand is Weber's built a really good reputation for their customer service. So they have one of the best warranties in the industry, and that's gonna be the same across the board. You're getting a Weber branded product, which means you're getting a 10-year warranty. They're gonna take care of you for 10 years. A lot of this stuff is built really high quality. If you're having issues, doesn't really matter. They'll send you replacement parts no matter which grill you get, whether you buy a Spirit or whether you go all the way up to a high end on the Summit. The other thing is no matter which grill you get, you're getting very, very even high quality cooking in a gas grill. And the reason for that is they're all built around the same foundation. You've probably seen this in my other videos, is this, all the grills sort of use this aluminum, you guys get after me for calling it this, but I can't think of what else to call it, this aluminum tub. All three grills, it's sort of the foundation of the grill in my opinion. And then that's what else helps contribute to the even cooking distribution and the longevity of these grills lasting that long. Part of that goes all the way back to that aluminum tub. All three grills use it. So that's really what's the same. The warranty, the aluminum tub as the foundation of the grill, nice even cooking. You'll get that across the board between any of the models. So let's start with the Spirit. Their Spirit is of course their most affordable grill on the market. You can see by looking at it, out of the series, this one you can order as the smallest, so it's the only one that's available in a 2-burner. So right off the bat, if you're in a very, very tight space, a compact area, you don't have a lot of space or real estate for a grill, Spirit might be your choice because it's the only one that's available in a 2-burner. As far as getting under the hood here, you can see we're using cast iron cooking grates. Again, this achieves and helps promote nice, even cooking distribution. And then our flavorizer bars or our grease diverters, these are porcelain coated. I could see some issues here with the porcelain coating over time. You know, this may chip, especially once it put up to high heat. That doesn't mean Weber won't warranty it for you. And then we have our stainless steel 2-burners in here. Again, our Weber tub, aluminum tub, and then our warming rack. So that's really it as far as in the Spirit series. Pretty basic grill, not a whole lot to talk about. You know, it's pretty simple. And then again, speaking to the Spirit series, the left side's retractable. So again, if you need that, if you're tight on space, that's really nice. Their ignition system, your knobs are here, igniter buttons here, so you press that. Cart, there's not a whole lot to talk about on the cart. It is available in propane, and you hook up your propane tank here, and then we do have this little propane meter here, so you can easily tell how full or how empty your propane tank is. Do get some storage here. And then the Spirit just has 2 wheels, so in order to move it around, you know, you do gotta lift up one end. The Spirit is available with some add-ons, like if you want an enclosed cabinet or a side burner. To me, when you do those upgrades in the Spirit, you're starting to see some overlap with the Genesis product. Not a big fan of those. I'll tell you why a little bit later. But if you're looking for a base grade grill under the $500 market range, the Spirit's a great product. And you can see it's more bare bones. Part of the reason it can be affordable is it's sort of stripped of raw materials, has a lot less raw materials in it than the other grills. That's how you make it affordable, but you still get that 10-year warranty. Great product for what it is. Okay, so let's move over to the Genesis and show you on the hardware side what's different. You can see right away, much bigger side shelves, so we have much more storage. You see deeper firebox, and then also taller. So even if you're getting a 3 or a 4 burner, it comes one size bigger. We're getting more real estate vertically and depth as well. You can see we have the same cast iron cooking grates, so those are the same. And I'll show you here. See our vaporizer bars, our flavor bars, whatever the heck they call these things. Now we're to a stainless steel. So we no longer have that porcelain coating on here. So just a little bit better longevity. See the burners are a little bit different shape, but again, pretty basic standard burners. Again, in our aluminum tub. So our ignition system and our burners are the exact same as on the Spirit. So you're gonna turn your knobs here and then ignite it here. Now our warming rack is different. We still have a warming rack, but this is one of my favorite features on the Genesis because I don't use the warming rack a lot, is it has this hinge system where you can fold it out of the way. So you can see we have these hinges here. And then when you need to use it, you just fold it into place. Pretty cool little feature. And then the hood itself, you can see we're double lined here. And then all around the hood, you can see we're a little more tricked out with a little more chrome. Handles a little bit nicer. Thermostat's a little bit bigger and beefier. So the overall fit and finish is just more attractive on the hood, I think. A little bit different shape too. You can see the Spirit grill sort of comes down at an angle. This one, again, a little more vertical and curved. Now I will say between the two, even though this is a 3 burner and this is a 2 burner, so it's naturally bigger and gonna weigh more, this lid is crazy light. It's super, super lightweight. And again, we're single wall lined. This lid is much heavier. So it feels just more beefy, more sturdy, and it's a lot heavier. See how my scientific reviews, how scientific they are? It's heavier, so it must be higher quality. No, but I do feel like it's just overall beefier product. Now, as far as what else is different, we go to 4 wheels here. So see, I can move this around without lifting up an end. So we have our 2 big wheels and then our casters. And then also, we sort of have these fenders here, and these help hide our propane tank as well. So again, that just plays to the fit and finish here. We're just getting an overall cleaner, nicer product, more raw materials in this grill. Therefore, it's a little bit more expensive. Now you can see on this one, this is the Genesis 335 model, so it's more of an upgraded grill within the Genesis lineup. And so when we do that, we go to an enclosed cabinet option. They do make the 310, which is their bare bones Genesis series, and that's actually their best selling grill. But the cabinet on the 310 is gonna look a lot more like the Spirit model. So what's nice too is when we go to the Genesis, we have the opportunity to start tricking this grill out a little bit more and sort of adding cool things to it, besides just better hardware. For example, we have a pretty cool side burner on here, pretty beefy side burner. You can see in our review that we've done, if you want to check out the review of this grill by itself, you'll be able to see that we did a temperature check on this, so you can see how hot these grills get, and definitely does get up to temp very nicely. Also, when we go to the Genesis, we have the opportunity for a sear burner. Now let me show you what I mean by this. Again, we do a temperature check. We do a temperature check in our main video if you want to see, but the Genesis allows us the opportunity to do a sear station. So instead of our regular burners, they've added 1 extra burner in here. So what we're doing is we're compacting burners together, which is gonna create a higher BTU, which is gonna give us the opportunity to sear if we want to. So the Spirit series, in the basic Spirit series, there is an option for a side burner, but if you want a sear station, you really need to go with the Genesis series. So that's sort of the difference with the Genesis is, again, better fit and finish, more raw materials within the grill itself. And then we also have the opportunity to start adding some nice upgrades within the Genesis series. Okay, so now let's go to the top dog, the premium product that Weber offers. This is the Weber Summit. So obviously a lot more features packed into this guy. You can see right off the bat, we have a rotisserie kit. Again, much more vertical space here, all stainless steel. But our actual hood system is different once we go to this grill. You can see our Genesis and our Spirit are both running on a single pin hinge system. The Summit runs off a totally different platform. So you can see this hood system is 2 parts. So this goes all the way up to here. Now this does a couple things. I think it helps retain heat better. And then also it helps with the wind. And then just the fit and finish, I think just looks a little nicer. You don't have this big old hood sticking way up. And then also gives us an infrared rotisserie burner for our rotisserie kit. Again, that's all standard. Then we go to the full 9mm cooking grates. So you can see cast iron versus the stainless steel that's in the Genesis. Now, hot debate among customers, we get this every day with customers in here, is cast iron or stainless steel better? Well, depends who you ask. Personally, I like the stainless steel. The cast iron is great because you do get great sear marks. You do with the stainless steel as well. But you don't have to worry about flaking or rusting. You're never gonna have a problem with these. The whole time you ever have to grill, you don't even have to think about them. So that's why I like the stainless steel. You can see their flavorizer bars are a little bit different, a little bit smaller. There's more of them. And again, our stainless steel tube burner that's in there as well. You do get a warming rack as well. And then also in the Summit, you can see we're tricked out a little bit more. So see, we got some fancy lights. So we get a nice light kit, and then we also have a handle light on the grill as well. Again, this is all standard. We get that same sear station that we get in the Genesis. And then also, check this out. This is a smoker box. So we can fill this with wood chips or pellets. So we get an integrated smoker box with the Summit. And then our propane tank reading is all digital. So it's just done on the front here. So you can see I don't have anything in there right now, but you can just quickly at a glance check that out. Side burner is also gonna be standard here. So this is essentially the Mac Daddy. It's the loaded up model. It's the best grill that Weber makes, the Summit series. This is gonna be more for the high-end type clients. So I really feel like with the Summit, Weber's really getting out of their comfort zone with this guy. These 2 grills is where they dominate the market. I don't know if you ever seen that movie Hitch. Remember when Will Smith's telling him to just kind of stay in his zone, right? He didn't want him, when he went out dancing, he didn't want him to get out of his zone. That's Weber. When they get over to the Summit, they're out of their zone. So stay in the zone, stay with the Genesis, rocking and rolling, pumping out grills, satisfied customers. Do I need to keep going? This grill's it. The Genesis 335, my favorite grill. There's the difference in actual features and hardware. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. It's a pretty quick run through. So now the question is which model should you buy? Well, now let's get into the philosophy a little bit as a retailer and a consumer, which one's gonna make sense. Like I said, there's really only 2 reasons to buy a Spirit. One, you're tight on space, or you're on a limited budget. In my opinion, this grill, this is the stripped down model, the Spirit grill, it's under, at the time of this video, it's under $400. In my opinion, in this price range, there is not a better grill in the market. Weber dominates this space. You can't find a better grill with a better warranty for under $400. It's just not out there. So if you don't want to spend a ton of money and you want a really high quality product that cooks great with a really good warranty, check out the Spirit. The flip side of that is it does have a 10-year warranty, but to be honest, most people that are in the market for a Spirit, they're not looking to get 10 years out of this grill. So it's great that it's there, but I don't see it as a huge advantage because it's either a starter grill or you're tight on space and you only plan on keeping it around a year or 2 before you upgrade, Or if you're a weekend warrior, you grill once a month when you have guests over and you put burgers and brats on, take a look at the Spirit. That's the type of customer that the Spirit is really designed for. But it's nice to have the great warranty, even though you probably won't keep this grill 10 years. It's still nice to have it if you want it. Then let's go up to the Genesis. Like I said, if you're sort of a customer that's looking for a really high quality product, but you sort of want to step up your grill game a little bit, you want to start doing some searing, you want to start taking advantage of the side burner, you want the fit and finish to look good on your patio, the Genesis series is really the ticket for you. Now, when does it make sense to upgrade from the Spirit to the Genesis? That's the thing. Well, besides the features, I think, the Genesis Basic 310, we'll show you a picture of that. That's their best seller. I think it's their best seller because that's what the big box stores are pushing. It's not my favorite grill. In fact, you can watch some of my other reviews. I sort of pick it apart a little bit. Not a fan of the 310 at all. This grill is the 335. This is my favorite grill within the Genesis lineup because we're starting to trick it out with some cool options, but we're still under $1,000 and we still have a 10-year warranty. There's very little in the market. We said Weber dominated the space at $400. In this category, under the $1,000 price point, Weber still dominates the category, but they're not alone. You're starting to see some other brands creep in. Napoleon's a great example. If you want to check out my reviews, we review this up against the Napoleon. Napoleon's creeping in there with a great product, great warranty. So I would take a look at the Genesis and the Napoleon. Outside of that, they're still dominating this space. So it's a great product within this retail space. But back to what I was saying about the 310. If you're just looking for a base grade, I don't see a reason to spring for the Genesis. Stick with the Spirit, save your money. On the flip side, I don't see a reason to really spring for the upgraded Spirits because then you're getting into the Genesis category. So see what I'm talking about? There's a lot of overlap between these two subcategories of brands, and I think it creates product confusion. If you're looking for something base grade, get the Spirit. If you want something upgraded, don't buy the Genesis 310. Take a look at the 335. And two, if you wanted the stainless steel cooking grates, they offer that within a Genesis. So now let's talk about the Summit, the big dog on the block. For being their nicest grill, it's my least favorite. Now, of course, it's the nicest in their lineup. It's definitely an awesome product. But Weber, when they get into this space, you're talking $2,000 plus. So a huge jump, more than double the price jump of this. And for me, you're just not getting double the features. You're just not. I can't justify a $1,000 jump to the Summit. Also, when you get into this price point, you start to see a lot of other players all of a sudden flooding into the market. I think there's a ton of better options out there in the $2,000 plus range besides the Summit series. We've done a review on some of the competitors. Again, Napoleon's gonna be in there, Blaze is gonna be in there, Coyote's gonna be in there. You're talking half dozen to a dozen players in this category now. And Weber, quite frankly, doesn't dominate that category. And I don't really think they want to. I think that their thought process, their bread and butter is more in the Genesis and the Spirit series, and I think they're okay not dominating this space because the competition has definitely passed them up in the price point. Their own grills, I feel like the Genesis has really cannibalized a lot of the Summit series sales because, again, it's just too good of a deal to pass up on the Genesis. So not a big fan of the Summit. If the only reason I buy this is if you've only had Webers, you love Weber grills, you're a Weber fanboy, you only want to cook on Weber, and now you're ready for the top dog, then certainly get this. It's in no way a bad grill, but I would only buy it if you're committed to the Weber brand. Other than that, I'd look at some other options. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully we didn't make this too difficult for you. So real quick, as a very short, easy summary, $500 and less consumer, check out the Spirit. $1,000 and less, check out the Genesis. $2,000 and less, check out the Summit or some of their competitors. So that's a simple, very easy way to take a look at it. Again, the Genesis is my choice, not the base grade. This one's a 335. This is my favorite grill that Weber makes because we're getting tricked out features. We're getting an awesome product for an unbelievable price. I think it's one of the best grills on the market for under $1,000. If you don't like the blue, you can get it in different colors too, propane or natural gas. So a lot of options there. So hopefully this video made sense. Again, there's a lot of product confusion with the Weber gas grills, just quite simply because there's so many SKUs, and that's just the way it is. So hopefully this video helps you out. If you're in the Denver metro area, don't forget, you can always come down to our showroom, check out these grills in person, be hands-on with them. You can check out all of our products on our website at www.embersliving.com. One thing I forgot to mention is please make sure to subscribe to our channel. When you subscribe to our channel, you're put in line for giveaways. We give away a ton of product every month. And then also it supports us and helps us to be able to keep doing videos like this. So please subscribe, thumbs up if you like this video. Stay tuned for more. Thanks so much for checking out our channel.